This book is all about navigating life growing up working class and navigating sexuality. Say hello to No Worries If Not, a funny-ish story of growing up working class and queer by Soph Galustian. Welcome to Bookmarked, where we find and review some of the best books about life. Soph's story takes us on a journey through childhood, teens, college, uni, grief, and doomsday. A non-fiction telling of her life where she spits the most relatable truths with her hilariously blunt observations. Like how she imagines a conversation with her younger self, recalling snogging posters of Girls Aloud. And stick around for more fire recommendations if you like the sound of this book. Soph talks about struggles growing up as a child, like her parents splitting up, circling items under 20 quid in the Argos catalogue for Christmas, and her local fair goldfish, Bob. And there's a full section dedicated to the counsellor's state of mind. But her relatable stories are entwined with funny quips, like making jabs at posh dads wearing gilets or Jamie Oliver getting rid of turkey twizzlers. Scattered throughout all of the chapters you'll find doodles, as well as hand-drawn word searches, her poems, and interludes listing her iPod Shuffle playlists. She writes around trying to understand her sexuality around the ages of 8 or 9, and how not having the right language to describe her feelings led to her to suppress her sexuality, ultimately leading her to internalised homophobia and shame. Soph confesses about how she would practice kissing the back of her hand, imagining it was a girl, and ultimately how she had her first kiss with a boy, accompanied with a delightful poem. And this has got to be my favourite line in it. Unfortunately, at that point, my sexuality didn't have a voice. I didn't really understand. All I knew was that I much preferred snogging the back of my hand. She really does have a brilliant way of describing such difficult feelings through her poetry. If this book sounds like a bit of you, then you're probably going to love Safe Space Podcast by Emma and Hester. A proper cozy vibe that covers LGBTQ+ topics like is coming out a thing of the past, and queer cinema and Hollywood. Plus their socials are a one-stop shop for learning important and iconic moments in history too. Soph goes through many milestones in the book, like her first love and heartbreak whilst not accepting her sexuality, literally pooping her pants before passing out on her doorstep because of period pains, and Cheryl Cole following her back on Twitter. The next chapter I'm going to cover is college, which introduces us to Soph's second love. So she hilariously takes us through a deep dive of her old tweets, which mostly revolve around being in Cheryl Cole's Twitter fandom. This chapter also covers her coming out story, which Soph says she hates the concept of. She said the social pressure of concealing or revealing your sexual or gender identity is such a complex and challenging process. And why should we, the wonderful gays, have to go through that if the straights don't? The way that she writes about this has a way that makes you feel at home with her shared experiences without any shame or judgment attached to it. And there's a super powerful poem in this section called Pride, and here's my favourite snippet. Pride is being proud of who we are despite facing discrimination daily and then some. So before you ask why there isn't straight pride, be thankful you don't need one. Soph really does have a compelling and relatable way of writing, which had me chuckling to myself throughout this whole book. If books are your thing, then you need to add Revolutionary Acts by Jason Akunday to your list. A collection of 7 older black gay men's stories which highlight the nuances of race, class, and being gay in the 70s and 80s. Reciting their stories gives a crucial insight into a social history that could otherwise have gone forgotten. So should you bookmark No Worries If Not? If you feel like reading other people's experiences to make you feel comfortable about your own, this book is for you. And if you manage to get through it without crying or laughing, then you need an emotional reset. This is the perfect coming-of-age book that explores loads of complex social situations in a really down-to-earth way. What book should we do next? Make sure to join us for the next episode of Bookmarked.